Hi everyone, welcome back for another episode of Adams for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around, folks, we're going to be talking about the 2023 film, The Super Mario Brother movie. Uh, I just got back from seeing it at the theaters, folks, and I gotta tell you, it did not disappoint. It was just everything I expected it to be, but more on that in a minute. So, the Super Mario Brothers movie, there's a few well-known actors doing voices in this. You got Chris Pratt as Mario, Anna Taylor Joy as Princess Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, Keegan Michael Key as Toad, and Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. And I think that's pretty much the extent of the well-known actors, voice actors, or actors voicing the characters in this. To me, this movie is kind of a combination of three things. It's kind of a combination of the 1993 live-action Super Mario Brothers movie, combined with the TV show, the animated TV show. I think it was like in the 80s, maybe early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and of course the video game itself. It kind of took elements, the best elements of all three, and combined them into a great movie. There's no offense, folks. In my opinion, the 1993 live-action Super Mario Brothers movie could have been so much better than it was, but it was just terrible. They decided, instead of sticking with the traditional storyline of Mario, they kind of went off on this kind of took an element of the late 80s, early 90s culture at the time and, turned the world, the Super Mario world, into like this underground weird thing. It was just terrible. John Leguizamo as Luigi, and I can't remember the name of the other guy that played Mario. It was Bob something. They weren't terrible, but this movie in itself, with the story, the way it was done, was just absolute nonsense. And of course, the video game is just epic. The animated series wasn't bad for what it was, but this has combined the best elements of all three. So basically, like, it starts out, gives you a little hint of what's going on in the Mario world with Bowser, and then it transitions into, you see Mario in the real world. He's just not in the video game, which I think is kind of cool. Give you a little bit of an origin story of Mario, what's going on with him in the real world before he gets to, Mario World. Him and his brother are trying to live in the real world as plumbers. I mean, that's their storyline. They're supposed to be plumbers. And they get sucked into the Mario world. The only thing that I didn't like about this is that they split Mario and Luigi up. Right as soon as they get sucked into the world, into the pipe from the real world to Mario world, Luigi ends up in the Badlands and gets captured by Bowser, and Mario ends up in Toad World, and gets to help the good guys. I would have liked to have seen the two of them together throughout the movie. It is what it is. It was still good, but that's just my personal opinion. Mario learns about the world. He learns how to live in the world and how to fight in the world using the things that are available. So it's pretty cool. For those of you, like, if you really pay attention to the movie, there's lots of Easter eggs in this movie. It's funny. There's a scene when Mario first arrives in the Toad world, and he's going through the town with Toad to get to see the Princess Peach. There's an antique shop that has some tidbits from the original game. One of them I noticed was the hammer, bolt that was in the original in the Donkey Kong arcade game that Mario uses, and he also uses it in the actual Mario games as well, along with a few other items from the game that you may notice. There was a couple other little Easter eggs that maybe some people may not have been as obvious. One of them is when they travel to Kongland, or to see the Kongs, Donkey Kong Country. He fights Donkey Kong. The arena is set up like the original Donkey Kong arcade game, which I thought was pretty cool. The kingdom looks like the Donkey Kong video game, but the arena is set up like the Donkey Kong arcade game, which I thought was pretty cool. And then one of the last tidbits, I didn't 100% notice it at first, At the beginning of the movie, when you're seeing the Mario Brothers for the first time, they're in this pizzeria, looking at their plumbing commercial on a TV. There's an arcade game off to the right. I didn't notice it at first, but later on, you see Mario beside this arcade game. I'm trying to think of the name of the arcade game, but it's actually it's like Jumpman. That's what it's called, Jumpman, which is actually where Mario originated. If you didn't know this, this is where Mario originated from. I'm trying to remember exactly. I'm thinking that they did Jumpman. Now, he didn't originate as Mario in Jumpman, but they took the character from Jumpman and made him into Mario for the Donkey Kong game before he got his start in his own game series. So there's lots of really cool Easter eggs like that in the movie that I just absolutely love. And then I think the character choices, like the voice actors that they chose to voice the characters, was really well done. I think they all did a phenomenal job. One other thing too I forgot to mention that I liked is, for the most part they did it kind of like based on the video game, but not in a way that's overdone and annoying. But they also took, I've kind of been saying, they took elements from different eras of video games. Like I said, they took it from elements from the earliest days, like the arcade games. They took elements from the original Nintendo 64 to the Super Nintendo to the the original Nintendo to the Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64. They and also different games like the original Mario Brothers game, but there was elements of Donkey Kong, and not just the arcade game, but the Donkey Kong video game, as well as the kart game, Mario Kart, which was just kind of really cool to see all that combined for somebody who grew up with those games, more the NES and the Super Nintendo than the arcade. It's just really nostalgic, It was really well done, and it was really cool to see. And I think they really hit the nail on the head with it. Great storyline. The only thing that I would have liked is the humor in it was lacking. The problem was a lot of the humor, I think, was geared towards a younger audience. There wasn't as much humor for adults, or they didn't really put the emphasis on the humor. There were some good funny moments, I'm not going to lie, but it wasn't quite as funny as I expected it to be. But that being said, overall, it was a great film. I highly recommend checking out Super Mario Brothers while it's still in theaters. You will not be disappointed. And the finale fight scene is just epic. That's all I'm going to say, folks. You're in for a treat, all right? So there you are, folks. A little bit different video. Doing a video on a movie I went and saw in theaters, which I don't do all the time, but it's fun when I do. So there you are, folks. You have yourselves a great one. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.